Hey everybody, Economic Ninja here. I hope you're doing well. Yes, it's a big piece of cardboard today because we got big notes, because we got so many lies going on with the government. It's funny, we're going to talk about the CPI, which is stands for the Cost Price Index. And it's interesting that we go to school that is funded by the government. They teach us government-funded math, and then yet they can't add themselves. We're going to talk about that today. It's also been referred to as the CPI, or the CPI. And I think it's really interesting because right now everybody, and this is good news, the whole world's starting to wake up to the fact that inflation is getting out of control. The central banks really did a good one, and the government, by allowing the excessive printing of money over a long period of time. It's not just now. And yes, I understand that the supply chain has something to do with it, a lot to do with it. And greed steps in, speculation, all that stuff. There's all these myriad of reasons of why the prices are up. But the facts are, the things that they want to do are going to come too little. They're going to be too little, and they're going to come too late. So we're going to jump into this story, and this is out of CNBC, and it's entitled "Consumer Prices Hit 40-Year High in December. Here's what is more expensive," okay? Because the numbers came in a little differently. The truth is a little different than what they're putting out. Now, by the way, if you guys have been watching this channel before, you like this stuff, if you wouldn't mind hitting the subscribe button, it really helps me out. Also, thank you to everybody that's hitting the thumbs up and sharing these videos. It really, really helps me. All right. You can't make this stuff up, guys. So the CPI jumped another 0.5%. Now, I've done a video about this. That's sort of old news. We all know it, okay? 0.5%. A lot of people wouldn't think that's that much, but it is. It equals now 7% year over year from December to December. But here's some comparisons, and I find this absolutely astonishing, all right? And I'll get to why at the end. So first off, if you look at gasoline from December to December, it has jumped 49%. And that is an average over the entire country, okay? Now, I was talking about this back when lumber was just skyrocketing back in the spring. We are actually experiencing transitory hyperinflation with lumber prices. I said, don't you worry, it's gonna come crashing down by mid to late summer. And the reason why is because people are gonna care more about putting fuel in their car and food on their tables. And that's why they're gonna stop doing all their projects, things like that, as we came out of that season of coughing. All right, so 49%, that's massive. Used cars jumped 37%, a little over 37%. And yes, I feel that because I just bought myself a used truck, and holy cow, that was gnarly. It's absolutely mind-blowing to me how much these things are costing these days. But if you want it, you're gonna go out and get it, and you're gonna pay the prices. Hotels are up 27.6%. Now, I haven't noticed that too much, but I'm a baller on a budget, and I stay at Embassy Suites, sorry. And that's a shameless plug. I love the free breakfast. Right, Joe? So furniture and bedding up 13.8%. No, it's funny. That's something that I could have done without. So there's a lot of things that people are just buying up, even when the supply chain hit and things are less, but they just have to have them. So they'll pay those higher prices, and it allows stores to put those prices higher. Meat, poultry, and fish are up 12.6%. It's a lot more than the average 7%, right, that the CPI says. New vehicles up 11.8%. And you know what's really interesting about that? You'd think everywhere I went to look for a new vehicle, it had that 10%, almost like a surcharge tacked onto it. They weren't even ashamed of it. They didn't even try and hide it. It's like, hey, we're just gonna tack on 10%. Why? Because we don't have that many cars, and guess what? We know you'll pay them. You gotta love it, especially when you're dealing with debt. It's super easy for any industry to just raise their prices all the time as debt gets cheaper, as interest rates drop, or the loan terms get longer. Hey, let's just stick it to the consumer. But you know what's sad? The only reason they're able to do it is because people buy this stuff. Eggs up 11%. Domestic services up about 9.4%. And then we have a few more. Major appliances up 8.4%. We know that because they were in a shortage. And there are, the facts are with appliances outside of new home building, if an appliance breaks, you're gonna fix it, or you're gonna replace it. So it is what it is. Margarine, 6.7%. And you go, why would they care about margarine? Well, isn't margarine in so many prepackaged foods and in restaurants, all that kind of stuff? So that makes sense. Electricity up 6.3%. And that's nationwide. I live in California. I don't know if you know, we're a little a little crazy over here, and we pay a lot for electricity. Too much. Apparel, 5.8%. Now, this gets me because maybe I should just lose, the ninja should just lose weight, and then I've got lots of clothes in my closet that I dream about wearing, but I could solve that just real quick by losing weight, but nah. All right, so now here's the deal. I've just given you all those numbers, right? Now, besides new cars, literally everything on that list are things that we will not live without, right, in this society. So all of those numbers, ironically, are over 7%. Isn't that crazy? The government's telling you it's okay. We're just at 7%. It's okay, don't worry, but we'll do something about it. We're gonna do something in the future. We got this plan. It's gonna be like next year, we'll raise a little bit, You wanna know why it's next year? Well, now we're in this year. But you know why they're doing this little by little? Because the economy is gonna collapse. That's the fact. And for anybody that would say, well, you're just spreading fear. I'm like, you're just an idiot. That's the truth. Because I'm telling you facts. You see, we printed so much money over the course of the last, especially the last 20 years. We are now in a spot where we can't service that debt. You can't even tax the people enough. And I know there's some people that are gonna go, oh yeah, they're gonna try and tax this debt. You're absolutely right. And that's why things like the Boston Tea Party happened. My point being though, is that the facts are the CPI is a joke. It's not real. It's made up. It's so that, you know, people can feel good about themselves. See, things are good. For years, the Federal Reserve has had a mandate. We're going to try and maintain inflation at 2%. And I used to say in this channel about a year ago, when they lose it, it will be like overnight, gone, done. And it's true. And they nailed it. They hit that 2%. And even for years, they were having supposedly a hard time hitting 2%. And they're basing it off of things like the CPI, which we all know is a lie. It is not right. So when they hit that official 2%, it went cling. Oh, good. We all did our job. And then it went boo. And guess what? It's not stopping. Now, we are going to see deflation in some things because deflation doesn't happen all at once. Because people are just simply going to go, I don't have the money. Like we saw the bubble in lumber deflate. But then in November, I did a video, late November, mid-November, and lumber is going to start rising again for a few different reasons. Natural disasters, speculation. But before the speculation was going to be, a lot of people said, all right, I think that we've hit the bottom. I'm going to go and get my lumber package for my construction project. And that is now happening. But things will deflate. Lumber deflated in the summer. Certain things will deflate. People just won't simply have the money. They'll throw their hands up. But in consumer staples, things like food and energy, they are going to continue going up until something is done. Either we have a market collapse and go into a nationwide or a worldwide deflationary event, or, well, that's pretty much it. I mean, I don't have, and the facts are, the cool thing is, knowing the truth, you know what to do. What's one thing you can do? Well, first off, don't get in any more debt. Don't go buy that new car if you don't have to. If yours is broken, pay to have it fixed. Don't get yourself an emergency fund. Buy things that wealthy people are doing. Shoot, Tesla made it legal now to buy Bitcoin and gold, actual physical gold and Bitcoin for their treasury, because they want to protect themselves against inflation. So why not just do what one of the biggest companies on earth are doing? What about all the billionaires running around going, hey, I own Bitcoin, I own gold, I own silver? It's just a no-brainer right now at this point. So I think this is really important for people to understand, because these are the days where not only you do this to survive, you're going to do it to thrive, because as these assets start to correct in an inflationary environment or in a deflationary environment where cash is king, and it is true, some people just don't like to admit it. They want to hold on to their gold or Bitcoin all the time, but as everything's crashing, the currency of that nation becomes king, because then you could buy those assets cheaper, or you could buy people's cars and houses and things like that, just like I did in 2009. All right, guys, with that being said, I thank you for watching. Again, thanks for sharing these videos and subscribing. The Economic Ninja is out.